Welcome to the Nomadic Closer podcast, where the world is your office. We're here to help salespeople and entrepreneurs level up, break free from the 9-to-5, and live the location-free lifestyle. Each week, join us for real-life experiences from the pros, practical tips, and game-changing insights on how to succeed in sales, business, and life. This is the Nomadic Closer podcast.
Guys, how we doing? Welcome to today's podcast. We're sitting here today with someone who has some crazy stories, but also is an amazing entrepreneur and an amazing human being. So I want to introduce you to my good friend, Paul. How you doing?
What's up, brother? Thank you.
No
Appreciate
worries,
that intro. Made me feel warm inside.
No, it's good, man. It's good. Listen, it's important. When you meet good people, you have to tell the world about them, right?
Man. Yeah.
But I like to start these podcasts because we're in Bali at the moment. Mm-hmm. And the first question really is, bro, is like, why are you in Bali?
Good. Yeah. Get that all the time. So my little backstory of how I got here. I came here as a tourist in January 2020 with a buddy of mine because we just wanted to take a trip, explore. I've never been overseas before. I'm from the US.
Hang on a minute. How old were you when you decided to go on your first trip?
Yeah, 2020. So I was 27. Wow. Right before I turned 28. So my birthday's in March. I came here in January. Yeah.
Amazing.
So right before my 28th birthday, finally went overseas. And I guess I'll get more into my backstory later. I'm sure we'll talk about how I became entrepreneur and everything. But yeah, I was always just small town mindset, whatever, never did anything. So got here, loved it, fell in love. After a month, my buddy leaves. I wanted to stay. Renewed my 30-day visa, flew to Singapore for a weekend, came back, stayed another month, and then flew to Philippines for a weekend. And while I was in Philippines, COVID hit. I still had all my stuff here in a suitcase, couldn't get back. Got locked down in Port Bartone. And there was like troops rallying around the village with AK-47s, not letting us out of the guest house. We were stuck. It was crazy. And it was like me, a Spanish family, and the Filipino workers all in this little guest house together. No. And I always say we were like the international Brady Bunch. Like we just for like a week, like we were all stuck in there together. And so we just ate, drank, laughed, and did what we did and to get by. And then they finally sent us a rescue bus, got us out of there. 6-hour drive down the hill, back down to Puerto Princesa Airport, got us over to Manila. And then I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to wait here until Bali opens back up, not knowing at the time what was about to unfold in 2020. And sure enough, I wait for like 3 weeks. It's like April by now, Bali closes. And I'm like, okay, well, there goes 3 weeks of my life sitting in the ghetto of like Pasay City, Manila, waiting, So I got a flight out to Hawaii, which was a 63-hour travel and 4 flights and 5 airports to get there. It was absolutely nuts. So I get there, I'm a zombie. I had a buddy there, picked me up. I crashed on his couch, and then I got an Airbnb. I spent like 2.5 months in Hawaii, and then I just ended up bouncing around the States, went back to see my family in Philadelphia. And then I was about to move to LA. I was in LA looking at apartments. And it was November 2020 by now, so it'd been 8 months. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm done. I'm giving up on Bali. I'm giving up on my suitcase, right? Like I'm out,
Cool.
And I start looking at apartments, and it was like the third day there. I get a call from a friend here, and they were like, "Yo, Bali's back open.
Yes, let's go.
You got to go." And I was like, oh my God.
Like, what am I going to do? I'm looking at apartments. I'm about to pay. What do I do?
Right. So like, what are the odds that like 8 months, I finally call it quits. I'm in LA looking at apartments, and my goal was to sign a lease before I went home. And I get that call. So I was like, that's a universal sign from God. I got to get out of here. I got to go to Bali.
Nice.
I get to Bali December 2020. Within the first 2 weeks, I met my wife.
Wow.
Yeah. And
amazing.
We're literally about to have our second kid in like 2 weeks.
Congrats. That's beautiful,
so
man.
that is how I got to Bali.
That's amazing.
And that's why I'm here.
Nice. But then you as an entrepreneur, did you start your entrepreneurial journey before COVID, or what were you doing?
So I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I worked in the gym for 4 years leading up to 2019. I finally got out of there, joined a real estate team, worked for them for a few months, hated that, left there. Took like a month off and went to see all my family. And in the meantime, I had paid for a couple mentorships from these guys out in Arizona. And the one ended up flying me out to meet his team. He was like this 21-year-old kid. It was a total bust of an investment, but it got me out there. And I met one of my best friends, Colin Yurkison. Okay. And that's who I went to Bali with. So we hit it off. Within a month, we realized these guys were schmucks, and we just started doing our own thing. But that was August 2020. August 2019. And that's like, that I consider to be like my start of my journey. So I was out there for 2 weeks, flew back home. And then within a week, I was like, fuck it, let's go. Packed my car, no job, no income. I had like $3,000 to my name and like 2 credit cards. Drove across the United States from Philadelphia to Arizona.
How long's that?
It took me 3 days to get there. Shit. All right. With some stops in between to, like check out a couple spots. But like I was driving, for 3 days. And I got to Arizona, and I Airbnb'd a room in some lady's house. It was a total dump. And I stayed there for 4 months, and I just busted my ass and grinded and made it work.
But when you say made it work, like what did you do?
I started being like a referral partner. So I was doing that in like service-based affiliate marketing. So basically,
for what industry?
We did like the Instagram growth campaigns. Okay. We did Instagram marketing, a lot of stuff with like Instagram growth marketing, like personal branding, stuff like that. And then I also went to a couple of networking events, and I met a bunch of people there. And so I started just talking to them, and I was like, hey, like I'm great at sales. Let me start selling for you. And so I was just being a referral partner to everyone. Nice. Because I
just want to touch base on something you said.
Sure.
You said you went to a lot of networking events, and then because you're good at sales, you started, put yourself in a position where you could start selling for other people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they go to these network meetings and have no fucking idea how to network, how to start conversation.
Yeah.
So like for those young entrepreneurs that want to get out there and start meeting people, how do you break the ice? Like what is that kind of initial conversation, and how do you actually lead a conversation when you go to these networking groups?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have, as soon as you realize that everyone else is also there, kind of in the same boat, of like, what's everyone going here for, right? You're going to, it's called a networking event. So you're going to network. So nobody knows anybody except for maybe if you come with a couple friends or whatever, which we did. Like I came with 3 of my friends. So it was 4 of us. So, I guess maybe that gave me a little bit of an advantage that I had a crew with me. But at the same time too, like we all went there, like, let's go meet people. So we weren't like sitting there talking to ourselves, But I think it's, if it's a good event, most people are really open to it. Like, I think the most important thing is like, you got to go to these, and you got to get there, get in the room, and then like most of the time too, there will be speakers, or there's going to be other successful entrepreneurs there, like, and they'll typically have like a group of people around them. Dude, just walk right in that group. And then typically like they'll just go around and everyone will start asking questions. So as soon as it gets to you, you got to just like,
that's it.
And just walk in and be like, what's up, man? I'm Pauly. Yeah. So I wanted to think of a question. 100%. That's also, like, think of a good question to ask, and if you want a good answer, ask a good question. So
that's it. And what's funny? We did a podcast the other day with a guy called Jamie, and he was talking about how you can get more intelligent and how to ask better questions by using ChatGPT.
There you go.
It's like, I'm using ChatGPT as a friend, just having conversations. Then I train it how to become a mentor. And all of a sudden, they're asking me questions. I'm like, shit, I'm going to use these questions when I go to a meeting.
Yeah.
No, I love it, man. I love it.
Smart.
So going back again then. So you started your journey where you started selling for other people. Mm-hmm. What was the thing that you really enjoyed about selling for other people?
Well, it just made sense because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so now I actually have my program launching soon called Mobile Mastery.
Okay.
And Mobile Mastery is teaching this, like, because most people don't know what they want to do, nor do they have the knowledge or skill sets to start a business. And I knew that, like, back then I was so oblivious to this whole world. But I came from sales because I used to sell at the gym. I was a personal training sales manager. So I was the top dog. I was one of the best in the biz. And so I was like, dude, I'm going to do what I'm good at right now. Like, I have no idea how to build a business. I have no idea how to run a business, but I can sell my face off. So let me just start making money. Because that's like another thing too is
cash flow is key, right?
Bro, just sales, just fucking sales. Like, just make income, just get cash flow. You know what I mean? I talked to so many people over the last 4 years, and there's a very common trend with a lot of them that, like, they want to stay at their jobs until they have a fully functioning business. Like, dude, you are fucking yourself, because now if you go to a 40-hour-a-week job, first of all, it's not just 40 hours, because you're spending at least an hour in the morning getting ready and driving to work, right? And then another 30 to 60 minutes coming back, taking a shower, getting settled in, you know? So it's like, you're really like 40-hour job is 50 hours, 50-hour job is 60 hours, right? So now you take 40 to 60 hours a week and you subtract that from the effort that you're putting into this business you're trying to build to get yourself out of the 9 to 5, like, bro, you're going to take forever. Just figure out a way to sell, make some cash, make just enough money to pay your bills.
That's it.
Get out. Now you have 40 to 60 hours that you can reallocate and reinvest back into that money-making activity. Boom, you're financially free.
100%.
That's
but
it.
Even if you're working 40 hours or 60 hours a week, it's like, how many hours a day do you watch Netflix? How many hours a day are you just fucking about playing PlayStation or whatever it is? Use that time to learn a skill like sales, you know, because with sales you can just make money. Right? It doesn't matter where you are, what you do, you can make money.
That's the thing.
Learn sales, then start making money. And once that covers your basic, as you said, fuck off your job and then just focus on what
Get rid of it. Yeah.
But you said something really interesting. So you're launching something for people who have no idea what they want to do or how to do it. I find that really interesting, because that's most people.
Yeah,
you know?
That's why I'm doing it, man, because that's where I was, you know. And before I found like what I'm doing now, before I became a viral content creator, before I got into doing my business funding operation, like I had no clue, you know. So I was just like, man, I really got. But once again, I told you my story. Like, I put my back against the wall. I really put my back against the wall. Yeah. I had nothing, and I had no.
It's only one way.
Only one way, bro. It was sink or swim. So I'm like, I'm fucking swimming. I am Michael Phelps right now. I am swimming, and the only way for me to do that was to make as much quick cash as I could. So what's the quickest way to make cash? You make a sale, you get a commission. Boom, done.
Happy days.
You're not building an e-com store and waiting for it to get seasoned. You're not, learning how to trade stocks with the 6 to 12 month learning curve. Like, you're making sales and you make a commission and it pays your bills, and then you can do that on your phone, right? And that's another thing. That's why I call it mobile mastery, because you're mobile. Like, you can do all this shit on your phone. Everything I've done, I've never needed a laptop for.
That's crazy.
I have a laptop and I use it, but I could have gotten to this point without it.
What, you mean just with your phone?
Just with the phone. That's it. All through Instagram.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there thinking, oh, do you know what? I actually don't have money to even buy a laptop. That's a fucking excuse, right?
And they're telling me that on the Instagram. I'm like, bitch, you have an iPhone right now. Stop making excuses.
I love that, bro.
You are good. Yeah.
I love that. I really want to dive deep into that, but first what I want to kind of touch base on is like, because we had a conversation the other day, and you were telling me about how you help people go viral and how you went viral as well. For those out there trying to get their name out there, to try to if they have their own personal brand or a company, like what ways would you recommend to go viral, and how did you go viral? Yeah,
so TikTok is what changed my life last year, and I was at 200K followers on TikTok. Okay. I opened my account in 2019. Those followers had randomly trickled in over 3 years, not being consistent, but because I had gone viral one time in the US, I'd gone viral one time in Philippines, and I'd gone viral one time in Indonesia.
And was that accidental?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Indonesia, I did this little series called Indonesia Got Me Effed Up. Okay. And I did like a 12 series skit, and those got me good. But once again, like, that was probably, it took me a month or two of, posting once a week or whatever, right? And then, other than that, it was just kind of like random followers here and there, right? So I wasn't really doing anything with TikTok long term, is what I'm trying to say. And then I posted the first video last year in April 2022 of me eating a raw goat testicle, and it just like popped off overnight. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do another one of like raw meat, carnivore, like whatever, Right. And so I did another one, and then it just boom, just like popped. And it was, and then I did another one, and then it was like 5 million within like 3 days of views, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to just go hard right now. So all of a sudden I'm just pumping out like raw meat, steak, testicles, heart, liver, brain, like anything I could get my hands on, like all these animal organs, right? And so the key, there's a couple keys. So one, when you catch the wave, you got to ride it hard and you got to stay on it. So post every day. That's number one. This is with TikTok at least. Maybe Instagram professionals will call it differently. I don't know. Instagram has always been like kind of more like my business side of things rather than like my viral content type stuff. I've tried posting some of my animal organ and that type of content on Instagram, and it just doesn't really do much. So anyway, TikTok is what I'm all in on. But
how many followers you got on TikTok?
I'm about to hit 2 million.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm like 1,915,000 or something right now. So yeah, the goal was 2 million before the year's over. So I should be good. I should hit that. Yeah.
And for those listening, make sure you follow.
Let's go at Pauly Long. Yeah. So number one, you got to post every day. Like you have to, especially with the TikTok algorithm. They favor those who post every day automatically. And you don't have to, I post like 4 times a day. You don't have to do that. You could post once a day, but post every day.
Yeah.
Number 2, like I said, ride the wave. So if you find something that works, you stick with that. A lot of people get scared of this because maybe they go viral for some random shit and they go, well, I don't want this to be my content. First of all, shut the fuck up and suck it up and ride the wave for a little bit. Because you can jump off the wave at any point you want when you have built that base following.
Yeah. So
once you're viral and you're cruising and you're gaining, you gain. And then at any point that you might level off or at any point you've already established a really good following and you feel like switching, you'll be able to do that. So for me, I did like nothing but raw meat content for an entire 12 months. All right. Or if it was like my son was born in June. So I was drinking like my wife's breast milk, like random shit like that. Right. But it was still kind of like carnivore, raw milk, raw breast milk, eating butter and like just whatever. Right.
Crazy. Did you ever get sick?
No, from any of it. No,
crazy.
You know what's crazy? I've gotten sick from restaurants in Bali, but never gotten sick from raw meat.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I did all that for a year before I started promoting my business. Before I started promoting my mentorship community, before I started promoting business.
So how did you cross over those followers onto your Instagram platform to promote the business?
No, I promoted on TikTok. Yeah. So on TikTok, I started just April this year. April last year is when I posted that first testicle video, goat testicle video. And then April this year is when I started promoting my mobile mastery, my program, and business funding as well. Like I do business funding on the side. So, and now it's like my TikTok has become this funnel of, I can just funnel anything I want. Yeah. But because I already have the established following of people who love me, and I'm averaging 100,000 followers a month nonstop for 18 months in a row, which is insane.
Crazy.
Right? So I can almost do whatever I want, and I still want to provide the type of content that my followers originally, because there are like a big group of people who only want to see raw meat stuff, but there's also a huge group of people who love when I give life advice and mindset and motivation. There's a huge group of people who enjoy I've started doing a little bit of fitness stuff, I'm doing a fitness challenge right now. I'm doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats in 10 minutes or less for 30 days straight. No, I'm cruising, bro. So I'm constantly also like testing new content ideas, But the point is, for anyone that's trying to get started, here's the golden rule. And this was actually said by Gary Vee, the great Gary Vee. He said, document, don't create. And that impacted me a lot last year because I heard him say that in the beginning of last year. And then when I got the opportunity to get these goat balls, I was like, all right, like I should just make a TikTok because Gary Vee said document, and I have them right here with me. So I'm not going to create content. I'm literally just going to show myself eating these freaking goat testicles because why not?
Touch base on what that means for you, because some people hear something, they're like, what do you mean by document? You mean like writing down how many followers, or by actually documenting my experience? Document
your life. Document what you're doing. What you think is every day for you, what you think is boring and average and typical and normal for you to do, there's a huge group of people who might look at that and go, that's fucking amazing. But it's your everyday life, so you don't think anything of it. You're on autopilot doing some shit that other people would look at and go,
become a role model.
That's fucking crazy.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you start documenting your journey, no matter where you're at in life, even if you think you live a boring life, dude, you could be a 9-to-5 corporate worker that has a 30-minute commute to work every day, comes home, and then fucking has these little collection of like cool plants in your house that you water, but you think you're the boring plant person. But there's a whole group of people that are like, yo, you have the coolest plant collection ever. And you just start filming videos of you taking care of your plants. And all of a sudden, you're 100,000 followers deep in a fucking plant community, in a small plant community.
Love it.
Anything.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how you have to attack this, is like you just document what you're doing. And the thing is too, you have to be willing to strike out 1,000 times. And then the 1,001st time could be the winner. Yeah. So you could post so many videos and they flop, and get absolutely nothing.
But that is an entrepreneur. You know, an entrepreneur is like, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to start a business, and if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go back to my 9-to-5. Bro, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a failure.
Yeah, you're a failure.
You know, don't even start. Just stick to your 9-to-5. Don't change.
Yep,
you know, because people think like, oh yeah, I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to be successful. It's going to work on the first time. No, it's fucking not.
Never.
You're going to fail hard.
Never. Yeah. That's called the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. You just can't give up. I like it, man. So now, because a lot of our audience, they work in sales, and I'm glad that you mentioned it.
Yep.
And a lot of people who've just started in sales, they're coming from jobs where they're making like $2,000, $3,000 a month. Now they're making 10 grand, 20 grand a month.
Awesome.
But the issue is they don't know how to use their money. All of a sudden they start buying expensive shit, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, my money's gone.
Yeah.
So what can people who have just started making money do to manage their money more?
Are these your clients?
I have some of our students, some of our clients.
Yeah, your students and clients, right? So what did they do to learn this shit? They invested in you.
Correct.
Right? Keep doing that. You, Joel, are great, but you're not the end all be all.
Exactly.
There's always someone above us, or there's always a lateral move that you can learn something else.
100%. Always be invested into yourself.
Always, yeah. Exactly. At least in the beginning. I mean, even in the end too, right? But especially in the beginning, just because you buy one mentorship program or one course that teaches you something that helps you increase your income does not mean that you've all of a sudden made it and you can go fuck off at the Gucci store and eat at Ruth Chris every night. Yeah,
like, bro, what are you doing? When I first started, so like I lost my business during COVID, like fucking everything, in debt massively. Yeah. And then I remember the first course I bought was a marketing course. And then I started a marketing agency, fucking hated it, every minute of it. But then I kept investing into more courses, sales courses, personal development. And I'm always buying into courses. And I had to kind of disown some of my friends and family in a way, because they're like, Joel, stop fucking spending money on courses. I'm like, listen, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Yeah. Every time I'm investing into someone, I'm learning something new about myself and how to make money.
That's it.
And now they come to me, they're like, oh, Joel, can I buy your course?
Yeah, you know, that's how it goes.
What happened when you split me down, you know? Like always be investing back into yourself.
Always, every time. And personal development always has an ROI, always. And that's like, it's crazy to me too. Like, I'll get a lot of people that hit me up about mobile mastery right now. And they're like, well, what am I going to get out of this? And I'm like, dude, first of all, like the fact that you're talking to me right now is like, has a value in itself. Not, I don't say that from a place of arrogance. Like, I really mean that. Like, if you're one-on-one with me right now, like you're gaining something. If you have the right mindset about it. And if you actually listen and absorb what I'm talking about, you're going to be able to walk away with a new piece of information that you didn't have before.
Whether they buy or not.
Yeah.
And then if
they buy, then you're in my circle. Now you're really going to benefit from it. And for me, it's like, there's always an ROI if you invest in yourself somehow, and it might not be direct. That's another thing too, is everybody looks for the direct ROI. Well, how much, what time frame, and exactly how much is this going to pay me? Am I going to make $5,000 in 30 days? If not, I don't. And no,
it's not always financial.
No, it's indirect ROI. Always seek indirect ROI. That if you build this, these will build. Your pockets will get fatter, and that's how it goes. You know, don't look for that direct, you know, I'll make you rich in 90-day bullshit. That's the kind of shit that I avoid. I avoid those guys. I've invested in those guys, and it never pans out. The timeline never ends up being what they say it is, nor does the amount. And then you have this false expectation now because you went into it with this certain expectation. So when you find a good person that can provide you good value, get rid of the specific expectation and just have the expectation of like, yeah, I'm going to learn something from this. I'm going to get, even if you get one good thing, it's like reading a book. You could read a whole 300-page book, and there might be one page in there just that you read
one
the
paragraph,
biggest gold nugget ever from it. Take that away and it changes your whole life. But here you are expecting to get value from all 300 pages. Like you can't look at it like that. Just look at it as the whole picture. Am I going to get something good out of this? If so, it's worth my money. That's it.
I like it. And I want to touch on something you said, because we have, like a lot of our sales guys, they come in and they're like, "Oh man, I didn't close them. I didn't get the deal." I'm like, whoa. I said, first of all, like everyone who jumps on the call is interested. They've taken the time out of their day to stop scrolling, put their information in the form. They're booked onto your calendar. Everyone is interested. Why didn't they buy? It's because you couldn't find a problem, and you were too attached to the sale. So if you turn your mind differently and start thinking, well, whether they buy or not, I'm here to help them see a different side of things, change their perspective. If you've done that, you've done your job. The sales will come, but stop focusing on the sale. And I feel that with you as well. Like you're there to help people whether they buy or not. And if they buy, then obviously they're going to learn so much more. But what do they get with you? Like what is in your mobile mastery?
The main parts of what I do, it's like three things. So number one, we work on your personal brand. That's what's gotten me here. So I don't necessarily think that what I do is the right answer, but it's what works for me, and therefore that's what I'm teaching. So for me, personal branding is everything. So first, we establish some credibility. We make you look good. We make your Instagram beefed up a little bit, make it look nice, make it look presentable. Because essentially Instagram, I always say it's like a giant networking event. Imagine yourself in this massive room full of people. That's Instagram. If you show up to this shit in a tank top and a bathing suit, you're probably not going to get taken seriously, right? So if the aesthetic of your Instagram represents a tank top and a bathing suit rather than like a nice polo and something, cleaned up, you're losing. So look nice, right? You don't have to get, all dapped up in a suit and tie, but look fresh, make the pictures look good. So that's number one. Number two is networking and building yourself a high value network of high value people. Because once again, because step number three is then sales and marketing. But if you're sales and marketing without building yourself a nice network, the only people that are going to be watching your shit is your hometown heroes, right? and we all know the people from our hometown and our family are never the ones to get us anywhere. They're the last ones to come on board.
They're going to bring you down.
They're always the last ones after all the newcomers come and give you the respect. Then the family and the friends say, "Oh, he's doing something now, right?" Yeah. So if those are the only people watching your shit, you're not getting anywhere. So you build a high value network by reaching out to people, making connections. Like you said too, something that I teach my people, go into every single conversation looking to solve problems. The best entrepreneurs in the world solve problems. They're professional problem solvers, right? They provide a solution. So if you start every single chat with learning as much about that person as possible, not thinking about selling them, but just trying to figure out what their biggest problems are, then you might not have a solution right there for them, but you've now created the relationship and you've built a little bit of rapport. You shake hands, you walk away. A day later, a week later, a month later, whatever, you find the solution. It rings a bell in your head and goes, "Oh my God, I was talking to Joe the other day and he actually could use this." And then you talking to another person that has this solution. "Hey, you know what? I think I might actually have a client for you. If I bring you this client, would you be cool with paying me a commission?" Who the fuck's going to say no, right? Yeah, of course. I'll give you 10%, 20%, whatever. Awesome, great. Now you start a group chat. "Hey, Joe, this is Sam. Sam actually has that service that can fix this problem for you that we were talking about the other day. I just figured I'd connect you guys." Boom.
Bro,
Sam closes Joe, you make money.
I make more money through networking than I do my own business. It's like, you meet someone and then you connect them with someone else. You take 5% of their business just by doing a connection. I get massive payout commission.
Referral partner, man. That's mobile mastery. That's what I'm teaching people to do. And that's what, once again, that's what I did. Like we were like at the start of this podcast, as I was telling you, like I didn't know how the fuck to build a business, but I knew how to sell. And I'm a life path 9. I don't know if you believe in like astrology or anything like that. I'm a life path 9. I'm a master communicator.
Yeah.
That's my strength. So I know that, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stick to my strength here. I am a connector. I'm a communicator. I'm a talker. Like, I'm great at that shit. I'm not a systems guy. I am not like a formal business guy. You know, like I can do it, but it's not my strength. So let me connect people, and it's great. It's a great system because number one, as the referral partner who's making the commission, you never have to build your own business. You never have to worry about running a business. You never have to worry about systems, anything, nor do you have to service any clients, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to work a job. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for so many people who are scared of entrepreneurship because they're like, well, I can't see myself being a CEO. I can't see myself being this big business owner. Okay, cool. You don't have to be. You can fucking just make money just referring people for the rest of your life. And you could do it on your phone, at the beach, with your family, and never have to report to an office and never have to worry about running the business. Yeah. And you can make $100,000, $200,000 a year doing this shit, no problem. Exactly. And be completely free to do whatever you want. Wake up when you want, go to the gym when you want, eat when you want, take a shit when you want, and not have to go to the office ever again.
It's as easy as that. Like,
boom, done.
So I used to run bars, clubs, restaurants in the past, and there was this one promoter that everyone was like, I mean, this guy, it's just a busy boy. Like whether anyone is, he's always there. He's always going to these after parties, always networking, and everyone used to take the piss out of him. It's like, you know, why are you sucking up to people? He's like, no. I'm building my network.
Smart.
Right? And what he did, he showed me something that completely changed my life.
Okay.
Every time he gets to meet someone new, he does 2 things. One, he in his phone, he types in where he met them, what they look like.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? And then he has a spreadsheet. On the spreadsheet, he then updates location, what they look like, what business they are in, what problem they have.
Damn, this guy's on point.
and then what he does, years later, so I think it was 7-8 years ago, he started doing dinners, right? Yeah. Now what he does 1 dinner a week. Okay. He invites 10 people, and the deal is any business done on that table, he takes 5%, right? So what he does, because he's got this whole big spreadsheet, he's a connector. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get this person, and just choose 10 people to join the table, sit them in certain positions because they know that person is going to do business with that person.
Wow,
that is absolute legend. He's making millions.
That's crazy. That's
millions.
Next level.
He has shares in some of the biggest restaurants and clubs in Dubai.
Wow,
just by connecting.
That's like he's like what I'm doing times 10. I gotta take notes. That's crazy. No shit. Right? Wow, I'm motivated. Thank you for telling me that. That's like next level. That's super cool.
No, it's
never
good.
thought about that.
But he's never had a real job in his life.
Yeah,
he's
a professional connector.
He's a professional connector.
Love it. I love that.
But that's huge. He had a goal. It wasn't just going out, hey, let me go networking because I want to be a person of interest.
Right.
It's like, no, I don't give a fuck if I'm a person of interest.
No, I want to make money.
I want to make money.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with a lot of entrepreneurs. They kind of lose their identity a bit. And I've said this in the past, man. Like I was in Dubai for 10 years. And I think with a lot of people that try and make it, they, you know the saying, you got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people...
I've been there.
Fake it so much, you make it, and then you have no idea who the fuck you are.
Yeah, that fake becomes like your personality, and now you're just living a lie your whole life. I know people like that. There was people in that office that I started with that are still there, and like it's gotten like bad. I don't even talk to them anymore. But like,
how do you stay grounded once you're growing and getting known and being a person of interest?
Yeah, like. In general, or like me specifically?
You specifically, bro.
Having a family helps for sure. I wish I know that can't just be like a overnight thing. You're like, hey, go start a family, right? But that's my wife has changed my life for sure. And having my kid last year was huge. Dude, kids will make you level up so fast, so fucking fast if you have the right outlook on it, and the right mindset, right? Yeah. If you're a deadbeat dad, then I can't do much about that, right? But if you have a good mindset, a growth mindset, if you have a true growth mindset, kids will make you grow like immediately. So as soon as my kid was born, it just sparked something in me, and then we got
made you more disciplined,
way more disciplined, way more focused on being a good man. you know, which involves being a father, being a husband, and being true to myself, right? And holding myself accountable. So that definitely sparked something in me. And then shit, man, my kid was 8 months old. We got pregnant again, back to back.
Wow.
So as soon as my wife got pregnant again, it was like, okay, like now I'm fucking really like, you know, that was February this year. And sure enough, like by April, that's when I was like, okay, it's been 1 year of doing this TikTok shit. Like I'm going to start, I deserve it. I deserve to start promoting my other businesses now.
That's insane.
And as soon as I started doing that, my income like fucking 4x'd in like 2 months. It was crazy. So yeah, man, the last few months have just been like insane, you know? I've made a ridiculous amount of money that I was just like not even ready for, you know. I mean, I ready for in a sense of like great, but I just wasn't expecting it at all. So family's huge, but like, dude, I'm gonna go back to the basics. If you're working out, you're eating good, you know, you're doing some little shit with personal development, whether it's like, you know, a little ice bath here and there, or meditating, or breath work, or journaling, something, or reading a book, like something. Pick, you know, do them all, or at least pick one, right? If you're doing that and you're working out and you're eating good, it's so much easier to stay grounded because you understand like the values of life that life has to offer, and you don't value stupid shit, right? So if you have your health in check, you start realizing how fucking awesome health is. Like health is awesome. You know what I mean? Like when you feel really good constantly, like, and your brain is so sharp, and you're waking up and you're sleeping good, like waking up early, you're sleeping good. And you're getting lean, and your abs are showing, and you're getting stronger in the gym, and you just start prioritizing health, dude, like you level up. But when you prioritize shopping, and you prioritize clubbing, and you prioritize alcohol and drugs and weed and whatever, like, dude, you're just fucked. So like, I think for someone, like I said, if you can't just start a family in 24 hours, prioritize your health and your development. Yeah, like 100%. the basics, man. Because that's like the foundation, you know, and they always say don't build a building without a foundation, right? You're going to crumble without that stuff. And I know successful people who are like fat as fuck, but they've got issues. Like
they have issues.
Bro, like
are they happy?
They've got issues, you know, and they're fat as fuck, dripped out in all these iced out shits and Louis shoes, but like, bro, you're fucked. Like, look at you, you know. So
and that's something we actually have in the academy. So we have a fitness coach.
Oh, right? Nice! I didn't know that.
It's like, okay,
that's cool.
Well, what we want you to do, we want you to get your blood works done, right? Because at the end of the day, you could be training, you could be into your fitness or not, but everyone needs to get their blood works done. You know. Once you understand your blood works. With Rue.
Yeah, I just talked to him. Yeah.
Exactly. He was on the podcast the other day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hit him up after I saw him on your thing, and we talked, and I want to do his stuff, but I'm getting ready to have my kid. Yeah. So I'm like, bro, let me just hit you. He was like, do it now, like trying to close me, you know? And I was like, look, bro, I get it. I was like, please, man, like my life's about to be fucked up for the next few weeks. Like I'm not going to sleep. So like, let me just get through that initial hump, get another nanny, and then I'm doing it because I want to do that blood panel.
Yeah,
like
bro,
it's epic. Right?
I can't. Yeah, exactly. It's changed my life, and it's because I've always had problems sleeping. You know, problems with like not being able to grow my muscles as much as I wanted to, and it's all because I was just doing the wrong thing or eating the wrong thing or missing certain supplements. Yeah. Cool, brother. Listen, I could talk to you for hours. Like, I've got
Cheers,
so many
man.
things I want to talk to you about, but you know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that will follow you and ask you certain questions. But I just want to kind of ask you one last question because. There are a lot of closers out there that have clients that want to raise capital to invest into whatever the clients, the closers are selling. What can you offer to help people to raise capital so they can do investments? Yeah,
that's the only thing we didn't talk about. is my other business. So my partner and I do high limit business funding. So first of all, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Okay. So unfortunately, that's the main requirement. But U.S. citizen, if you have like a 700 plus credit score, is like the very minimum, and no derogatory marks, and at least one personal credit card open. Then you can start qualifying for a lot lot of business lines of credit. The reason that we do business lines of credit, if you don't know how the US credit system works, your business credit will never show up on your personal credit. Mm-hmm. So if you log on to Experian and you check your score and you see you've got 3 personal credit cards, it's going to say 3 open accounts, right? And then you have a utilization percentage, and that's how much debt you have on each of those cards combined. If you have 7 business credit cards, all open, all ran up, to the maxed out limits, your personal credit report will still only say 3 accounts open.
Interesting.
It's a cheat code. So you can open up business lines of credit through cards, through the liquidated lines, through loans, however you want. None of them are going to end up on your report. Mm-hmm. So you take those business lines now, you invest with them, right? And a lot of these lines too that we get have an initial term of 12 months with 0% interest. So you won't gain any interest at all for the first year either. Wow. And if you're investing properly.
Is that 100% of the times or?
Most of the time. So some of they're called blocks, BLOCs, business lines of credit. You can liquidate these and it's just a direct line of credit, not on a credit card. Mm-hmm. But those sometimes we'll get those at 1% or 3%, maybe max 5%, but it's all little to no interest. But most of the cards and everything, 0% for 12 months. So you have a whole year to wait for that ROI on your investment to hit, and then you pay off the debt. You never accrue interest. You could have it maxed out, sitting there, high utilization for months and months and months. Your credit score never gets touched. So it's you can just sit there and use the bank's money and wait for as long as you need without being in panic mode of oh my God, my credit score is going to tank while I have all this high utilization debt. Make your ROI, pay off the debt, keep the profits, rinse and repeat, do it all over again. So we get our clients approved for as many lines as possible because we have ways to eliminate the hard inquiries within 24 hours. We can get all these lines approved within 2 to 4 weeks. So the average person doing this themselves, they're going to be able to get maybe a line or two for 10, 20 grand, maybe 30 grand, whatever. And then they can't do it again for 6 months. Mm-hmm. We know how to do it all within 2 to 4 weeks. So we're getting you the maximum amount of business credit possible in the shortest amount of time. And then, we take our fee on the back end, and that's how we make it a business. So everybody wins because you're getting 10x the amount with us that you would get on your own, even after paying the fee. And now you have all this investment capital to walk away with and start up a business, invest in real estate. You can liquidate it and get into the bull market coming up in crypto, stocks, whatever you want to do.
Crazy. We need to talk offline.
Let's go. Let's go.
Amazing, brother. Thanks for your time, man.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for having me on. Yep.
Guys, see you on the next one. Thank you very much.